Okay, I'm going to put this in the hands of a trained professional.
Thank you so much. And it's really an honor to be here. This is a wonderful event, and it's really nice to be here with so many women who have achieved so much.
The United States is ranked 76th among all developed nations in the number of women in elected office. Despite having the finest specialists and hospitals in the world, we are ranked 37th by the World Health Organization in the quality of health care delivered to our citizens. I am now the proud president of Women's Campaign Forum, the oldest organization that's been working to get women elected at all levels in this country. And I'm right next to the White House. It's very cool. But I'm there for the same reasons I ran for Congress. If we truly want a nation that is strong and is globally competitive, if we had women in Congress, would we be ranked 37th in the world in the quality of health care delivered to our citizens? You tell me.
No. Many of us in this room were weaned on network television and newspapers. We knew when the news came because there was a thud in the morning and in the evening. We got the newspapers, we turned on the news, and we had Walter or Chet or David telling us what the news was. But it isn't that way anymore, and it hasn't been that way for a while. News today is more like music. It's more like entertainment. It's constant. Being informed in 2009 requires discernment and engagement and a lot more time than almost all of us have. I'm not up to the task. Women's eNews, for me, has become just an indispensable part of being informed. Women's eNews gives us women's news from women's perspective around the world. I call it digital feminism, and I'm very grateful. I turn on my computer in the morning, and there it is.
Global is Local believes investing in women's ideas for overcoming their challenges is one of several key strategies to advance a more prosperous, secure, and just world. It has been said the most important contribution any of us can make now is not to solve any particular problem, no matter how urgent. What we must do now is increase the proportion of humans who know that they can cause change.
Thank you, and good evening. I first want to express my appreciation and gratitude to Women's eNews for the great and incredible work that they do, so thank you very much. I also want to acknowledge the meaningful contributions of my fellow honorees, and do want you to know I feel privileged to be among you, so thank you. To me, it is our relationships that are most important. It is through our relationships that we come to understand our world, and it is through our relationships that our lives are transformed. It is the relationships in my life that have empowered me and contributed to the person that I am today. So as I am acknowledged this evening, I in turn acknowledge and honor the important relationships in my own life. My life partner, Arlene Terrace, whom I have been in love with for over 25 years. My parents, Larry and Pearl Jacobs, who have supported me in whatever I wanted to do, no matter how ridiculous it may have seemed at the time. I also want to specifically recognize my relationships with the two children I have had the privilege of raising with Arlene, Connie and Andy Gutata, whose love and participation in my life has been transformative.
I'm so proud and delighted to be here to help honor the work and the successes of the women of this region, and can only hope more and more will emulate the Philadelphia leaders. To stretch out a hand to lesbian and immigrant teens, lest they get lost. We all know how vulnerable and how difficult that era is. To connect with each other to survive the loss of our children, and to find the courage to move on. To litigate on our behalf. To ensure we receive the best education available and possible, to teach us to nourish ourselves and our families to health, to give us as many chances as we ourselves are willing to take, to push for the right of full reproductive health care, and to make sure it's accessible, to develop women's leadership in medicine and advocate for women-centered research to expand women's leadership, and well, I can't say enough about how important that is.